I just didn't want to work anymore. Like I was like, I need to go back to school. And that's when I gave Coach Drew a call, and I was at work. I remember that day I was at work, and I called him. I think they just finished practice. I was like, hey, Coach, like, I want to come back. I just told him I want to come back. And a week later, I got shot. I was partying a lot. I used to smoke weed. I was in the streets all the time. Like I was like dealing too. I had friends that were obviously doing that, so like I was doing that as well. And my mom found out when I graduated high school, because that's when I started. Like after high school, I wasn't like necessarily ready to start college right away. So, but she wanted me to, and so that's when the distractions came, and I was really distracted around that time. And that was kind of like one of her big things on why I came here to Union. You know, I came here, you know, not expecting to be here to stay, but I was excited because I was able to, you know, get to play collegiate basketball. I didn't get to play basketball in high school. Well, I did my first 2 years, but I got cut my last 2 years. And so I was really excited for that. But like when I first came here, I was still distracted. Like I still found ways to get distracted. I was worried about a lot of things going up back at home because I had friends who were, you know, getting shot, you know, friends that were dying, and a lot of things were just going back home in Orlando. A lot of things were going on. And so I was really distracted. I wasn't really focused with my work and all that. My advisor, she did her best to try and help me, but I was just so distracted. Because I was so distracted, my grades were not good at all. And so I had to leave the school. The school said I couldn't come back. So that happened 2021. And so that when I left Union, I fell back into what I was doing. So started, you know, trying to make a living, you know what I'm saying? I was doing fraud, I was selling weed again, all that. My mom, she had moved to Texas my second year at Union. And so when I moved back, I didn't want to go to Texas. I wanted to, you know, all I know is Florida, all I know is home. And so I stayed with my uncle, and I just went right back to it. I just went right back to what I was doing. And then I got tired of it. I just didn't want to work anymore. Like I was like, I need to go back to school. And that's when I gave Coach Drew a call, and I was at work. I remember that day I was at work, and I called him. I think they just finished practice. I was like, hey, Coach, like, I want to come back. I just told him I want to come back. And a week later, I got shot. It was a Friday night. Obviously, you know, growing up Adventist, it always feels weird to go out on Friday nights because my mom never let me go on Friday nights. So my cousins, I was staying with my cousins at the time, and she wanted to go to this Airbnb party that it was girls who were hosting it, and it was a big Airbnb party. And at that point in time, I didn't really like going out. And so she asked her brother to go, and he said no because I said no. And so she was like, oh, every time Rico says no, you say no. And so I decided to go because I didn't want them to go by themselves. So I went, and I had a bad feeling about it though. Before I left, I had a bad feeling. I just had a bad feeling about it. So I ended up going. We didn't stay there long. It was a lot of people there. So I was there for a good 30 minutes until the tow trucks came, and where I parked at was very far. And so I was one of the first people. I actually wasn't driving my car, I was driving my cousin's car. I ran to his car, and I was like one of the first people out, and we stopped at a gas station. They bought drinks, like Arizona drinks. And then as soon as I was leaving, I was, if anybody like knows the Orlando area, I'm getting on I-4 to merge from Kissimmee to go back to Orlando. And two cars, I'm in the right lane, two cars just come from probably the previous exit, probably doing 120 and just let shots fire. 2 shots on the hood and 3 shots at my door because I was driving. And one of the shots got me on my left side, and I got shot. I didn't really feel it until like I jerked off the highway, and I just felt right here, and I just saw blood, and I was like, I got shot. And it was just, I honestly thought I was gonna die. I'm not gonna lie to you. I honestly thought I was gonna die just because like I was bleeding a lot. I didn't know, I mean now I know, but I had a ruptured spleen. I currently don't have a spleen because my spleen was ruptured. And so the bullet went through my spleen, grazed my kidney, bruised my colon, and it's still currently in my back. It's on my right side of my back. So the doctors couldn't take it out because it's too close to my spine. So yeah, I had a ruptured spleen. I honestly thought I was gonna die. I was just laying on the floor. And that's when everything like just flashed through my eyes, my life, just everything. And I had a song that I grew up in the church with, in the Haitian church, and I just started singing that song. And I started to get calm after I sang that song. I just sang that song and I just kept calm. But I was just very calm until the ambulance came. It felt like 30 minutes, but it took like 15 minutes. Got in the ambulance, they put me in the stretcher. It was so tight. And I think the first question I asked them was, will I be able to play basketball again? Because I don't know how I was feeling. I don't know if I was paralyzed, you know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't move. Because they cut through my jacket and everything. And they was like, they couldn't give me an answer then and there. They just said it's gonna take a long time. So I got in, and because of my injuries, it was very severe. I didn't take an ambulance to the hospital. I had to take an airlift. So I went from an ambulance to an airlift. So I got airlifted to the closest hospital, and I think it's Osceola. And I had to go through immediate surgery. I felt like God was with me the whole time, because when I got to do my MRI, it was 2 Haitian nurses, and they spoke my language. And it was crazy because they didn't know I was Haitian or not. And I don't know how we managed to communicate, but they communicated to me in my language. And I just felt like that was just a sign. That was just a sign from God. After I got surgery in the hospital, they told me I wouldn't be able to get into physical activities until October. But I was able to start playing basketball late June, early July. And so, but it wasn't really, like I couldn't be too physical because I was still having pain right here. But I was able to get back. And just after being shot, I just feel like everything happens for a reason. And I just feel like that was just God's calling for me, just telling me to change my life, just to change what I was doing, to obviously get back to school, to finish up school, to do things the right way.